Welcome to episode 1 of the Wooden Work podcast. I'm Josh from Josh Taylor Woodworking, and this is Paul from JCR Joinery. So, why have we started this podcast is to share our journeys along the way and to help others along the way with their journeys. So, a little bit about me and myself. I live in Australia at the moment. I've been doing residential carpentry for 7 years now since I've been out here, and in the last sort of 6 to 8 months I've branched over to making furniture. And in that 6 months I started a social media page, and it's really growing quite rapidly so far, which is great. So at the moment I'm still doing this part-time. I am working subcontracting to a builder, still building houses, but I've got sort of fed up with that because I'm not being challenged enough, and I enjoy the finer work and I don't like to be rushed when I do work. So my plan is to branch into the content creation world and make beautiful pieces and then put them online. Over to you, Paul.
So hello, I'm Paul. I'm based in Liverpool, UK. I've been a joiner now for about 23 years, I think, maybe. Mainly, it was a lot of residential, kitchens, doors, standard sort of stuff. 2 years ago, I actually had quite a severe biking accident and smashed my shoulder. So I'm trying to take a little bit of a step back, and I've decided myself that I want to go back into the furniture creating, a bit like yourself. Josh, I enjoy spending time on a piece and really seeing it come to life. And again, like yourself, I've started doing this journey of content creating because it's actually, even if it's a lot of hard work, it's good fun. And I found with doing that as well, it's really good to network with people. And I think that's one of these sort of reasons why we sort of decided to start this podcast as well, wasn't it, Josh?
Yeah, so that's one of the points I do want to talk about is the networking side. So, did you just get onto YouTube and Instagram like one day decided, or have you been on there like quite a long time? Or
So my Instagram page has probably been up and running for maybe about 3 years now, 4 years, because I decided that Facebook was not the platform that I would want to market myself on because of it just doesn't fit with me.
mm.
Um, but it was only recently after I started reaching out with Instagram because I got more interested into pattern pie pieces and also furniture pieces. I reached out to a few of the well-known YouTubers like Michael Holm in the States in Seattle, asking him for about help on these pattern plywood pieces that I make. And much to my surprise, he actually replied to me and he gave me so much information and help. It was unreal. And then from that, I spoke to a few other creators and content creators, and they sort of said, give it a go, get started. So I started my YouTube journey, I think, about 2 months ago now. Um, and I wasn't expecting it to take off in the format that it has taken off by any sense of the imagination. It's been a really steep learning curve, to be honest, but it's just good, and that's why then I reached out to yourself, Josh, because I felt that we were in a similar position as far as in the journey of creating content, and I feel that we hit a lot of problems at different stages of our content creating. Because like my Instagram's very very small at the moment, whereas yours has grown quite largely recently over the last few months with all the work you've been putting into it. And I just thought it'd be a good way of maybe us helping each other out and going along that journey together and sharing these problems that we get with other people and help them along the way. Because if
Yeah,
you don't know the
definitely.
answer to a question, you don't know it.
Yeah, I find that Facebook is. It was like years ago, it was doing well, but Facebook's almost at a lull now. Like I put quite a bit of work into Facebook as well as Instagram, but where Facebook is like 150 followers, but the reels are getting more attention, which is good.
Do you
But
mean your
yeah,
Instagram reels there?
the Facebook Reels, because Facebook and Instagram owned by the same company, so they cross pollinate sort of thing. But yeah, so and then Instagram, I do a lot of work, and YouTube. That's where I'm trying to branch over to now, at the
Yeah.
moment. And but again, what I was talking about yesterday when I was doing sort of a vlog in front of the camera is these projects take a long, long time. Like if you do a big table build or whatever, a tall boy, and it's almost like shooting a movie from different angles, and because you're shooting and doing the camera work at the same time, it's like instead of taking 20 hours to build, the build's taking 60 hours. But again, it's like if you rush your woodworking or you rush your media side, you know what you get. You get in what you could get in what you put out. So I've actually been taking a step back, slowing it down a bit with trying to make my pieces the best they can be with the skill set I've got, and also trying to make the media the best that I can be with the skill set I've got. Because I put out a video on YouTube, like a long form. I've only put out one long form, about 13 minutes long. I spent a long time filming it, but the editing, I only spent about an hour or 2 hours. I kind of rushed through it. Yeah, and it was a huge mistake. But now I've decided, I'm just going to spend whatever it takes, 10, 20, 30 hours to really learn it and get it right and put out something good enough. In the last few weeks, I've been watching a lot of other YouTubers. Padula Studios is a good one. I like the way he shoots and his sort of editing style, which has helped me sort of develop my own, like watching other people's. And how are you getting on with your editing?
See, I think that's an interesting point, as you say, with like the woodworking and also with the media and the film, because it's a whole other career alongside the woodworking. So
Yeah.
yes, I know how to make a piece of furniture. I know how to do a dovetail. I know how to do a tenon joint, and etc. etc. But I didn't know how to set up a camera. I didn't know about lighting. I didn't know about audio. I didn't know. It's just such a big thing. Now, again, I watch an awful lot of YouTube videos to learn how to do these sort of things, to learn along the way. And one of my most favourite quotes, and it can be applied to anything I feel, is improve one thing every time. So on your woodworking project, you're not happy with a mitre, say, you improve your miters next time. And eventually, if you always improve that one thing, you will get there and you'll hit that perfection. Well, as close as we'll ever get to perfection, obviously. And I found this, and I found that a lot as well with this content creating, because it was hard. And even when I look at a couple of my first YouTube videos, which was only 3 months ago, and I think I've probably got about 20 long form videos out so far now.
That's a good effort.
You look at them, and I'm cringing already, and especially one killing you there already. So yeah, and one of them is my pat and ply thing, and it's something that I want to be, and what I want to do a lot of my work in. So I feel like I have to go and remake that video already now, because I've noticed my skill set has changed and grown because I did that. Take one thing every time. So one would be a change. I've got a widescreen lens for my main A-roll camera. Then the
Yeah.
next thing was I got a key light, and then now I've got a USB mic for when I'm talking or doing voiceovers or doing these sorts of video calls. I've got a B-roll camera to put on another angle, so you're not having to refilm everything twice. You just have different cameras going at the same time. But of course, that comes at a cost.
Yeah.
It's
How
expensive.
much have you spent?
I've probably spent about £3,000 on cameras, lenses, and audio equipment so far, which
Wow.
is a lot of money. But when you
Yeah,
think about it,
it's a commitment.
it is. But you see, I'd quite happily when looking at buying a tool, like I wanted the Lamello Zeta a while ago, and I think it was they're about £1,200. I was like, I don't think twice about it. I just go and buy it because it's an
Yeah.
investment. It's a good piece of kit, and with anything, like if I want a T-shirt for something, I'll look at it and go, "Is it worth £10? Is it worth £20?" And if it is, I'll buy it. When it comes to tools and stuff like that, and again, with the content creating, your cameras, your audio, your lighting, they are your tools.
Yeah.
So if you have crap lighting, crap audio, no one's going to watch anything. Your
Definitely not.
visual can be a little bit poor as long as your audio and your lighting's good, especially your audio. So I do think it is worthwhile investing. I mean, I have got some very bad headphones on at the minute. They're the girlfriends from her audio work typing. But I know I've got a very nice set of studio headphones coming, should I say, for Christmas. So again, it's improving one thing at a time. But yeah, the editing side of things, especially, it's been it's so hard.
And who have you been learning off? Have you brought a course or anything like that? Or
No, so I watched a few how-to videos. So on my main YouTube videos, I use a program called Lightworks. Now, at the minute, I do only have the free version, but I will be upgrading it because now I feel that I'll get added benefit for some of the features that the paid features in this program. So it's worth investing because it's a tool at the end of the day. But
yeah,
then I was struggling with my Instagram Reels, as you know, Josh, with getting the content right. I mean, that's another whole other question. But I just wasn't getting it right. So I recently became a brand ambassador for Rubio Monocoat. Um,
congratulations.
thank you. And with that, you get some help from their media team as part
Oh,
of
do
the
you?
yeah. So I do actually get I've got backup from part of affiliate marketing with them. So I've reached out to Olivia and I sort of said, how do we do this? How do we do this? She's like, oh, use such and such program, do this, do that. And that's how all of a sudden now I've improved my reels, or at least I feel I've improved the quality of my reels on Instagram in the last 2 weeks.
That's
Um,
interesting. So they have their own separate team to help their brand ambassadors with content creation.
so obviously with the sort of, because I am in a contract with them, obviously, um, they expect certain things out of us in return for certain things that they supply and give to us,
Yeah,
as any contract is. But part of that is they obviously want to make sure their product is shown in a good light. So there's a backup for that side of things to make sure that your content's right. But it's not just about their products either. So they will help you on anything as long as it's not another wood finish product, obviously.
Do you
So
do
if
you have to get it signed off? Do you say make a reel with
no,
Rubio in and then
no,
say, look at this, is this okay? Oh no, that's
no,
good.
they've not asked me to do any video, any reel, any post, nothing at all. All the posts and videos I've done off my own back because I had them scheduled even before I was actually signed up as a brand ambassador. But now that I am, Olivia, who is the UK marketing media team, or she's in charge of it, should I say, there is a couple of people working there. I have full access to ask them what for help. So, how do we do a reel? Now, the reel wasn't it was an Instagram reel, but it wasn't a YouTube. Sorry, it wasn't a Rubio reel. But they still help you because if they can make my content grow and get more out of my content, so I'll
You
get a
grow,
better
you grow
following.
together, yeah.
You grow
Yeah.
together, and that means their product gets pushed out even more
Mm.
than what it does. Um, and I do feel that to me that's an invaluable tool to have. Is our added professional person. It's what Olivia does for a living. So to have that professional, not at your disposal, but have that you can reach out and ask for help, and they will help you. I mean that itself is worth an
Yeah,
awful lot to me.
since you became a brand ambassador, I've been noticing them more on other big woodworkers, like that Brent's Woodworking. I think he's part of them. There's a few other ones that I've noticed. So what in the contract? Obviously, don't say what you don't have to say. But is there certain levels? Like you got 20,000 followers. This is what we
Yes,
now agree to.
yeah. So
Okay.
it all goes on your following of what you've got of your specific package, if you like, because obviously someone that's got 200,000 followers is going to get a bigger reach than what I've got. I mean, it was interesting actually. Basically, what the interesting thing was so I was very kindly given a edge sanding attachment by Iluka Tools in London for my Rotex 125. So I did a little reel for Dan. He didn't ask me to. I did it because Dan's been a good friend for many years. He designed all of my work logos and all that sort of thing. And I did a little reel and it hit whatever. Now, he gave one to Sam at Monkey Boys Workshop. Now, obviously, Sam's got a big following in the UK.
Yeah.
Well, across the world, obviously. It's not just the UK, but he's quite well known in the UK. And again, Sam's been quite a good help to me recently and been becoming a good friend. But his reel did 10 times better in the first 10 minutes than my reel did. And that's because his reach. Now, to be honest, there's not a lot of difference between his reel and my reel when you look at them side by side. Apart from Sam is a professional actor, so he's a lot more theatrical and his is a little bit better.
It makes sense now you say that, because I thought he was a bit like, whoa.
Yeah, so up until I think it was about 4 years ago, he was a full-time actor. And in fact, I was watching some Harry Potter in bed this morning, and there was Sam on the stage in the Harry Potter film to the side.
Oh, no way.
Always makes me laugh when I see him there now. Yeah, Sam's become a good friend. I mean, I'm actually wearing one of his T-shirts as well. I do support Sam's channel because he's been a great help on this process for me also.
Nice.
But yeah, so I do think it makes a big difference with your following. I mean, you put out the same sort of content, and what works for one person doesn't work for what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. And likewise, I think sometimes with the with the content, what works well on YouTube will not work well on Instagram, and what works on Instagram doesn't work on YouTube. And now the sun's come out there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that point.
Yeah.
You have to.
How do you decide what content you create and use and do? And I'm not talking about when you're doing a build. Obviously, if you do a build, you film it because everything is content. But how do you decide, oh, I want to do a reel on this, I want to do a reel on this, to engage your audience and get that audience? How do you decide that?
Well, I started with. I just made a decision one day. To be honest, I think I was insecure before I started about being judged, and I made a decision like, I've got 2 kids now. Time to get over, no one cares about it. Just do what I need to do. So I just started replicating people's videos, literally copying the videos and then trying to make them a little bit better. And I did that for like 2 months, and I had quite a lot of success with it. And then I've been doing it 6 months now, the Instagram page, and the YouTube and TikTok and a few other things, and it's slowly evolved. I sort of run out of tips and tricks to do. There's only so many you can do, and I got bored of it. So I've sort of it's evolved into me doing projects that I want to build, and I've not even decided. I'm not even going to sell them. I'm probably going to keep them. I'm doing an epoxy table. I'm probably going to keep that. And I'm building another piece of furniture. I'm probably going to keep that as well. But if I can film it along the way, which is great. And how I do decide of what I'm going to film is literally whatever I'm building. If I'm that day, whatever I'm building, I'll just film that, and I'll just try and make it as best as I can. And some days are more boring than others. Some days I'm just sanding a table, and you've got to try and, you can do it. You can get that sanding the table that can get millions of views, but it's just making it creative with the right music, or not even music, just talking, just however you shoot it. It can get millions of views, but just I focus on just making it the best possible sanding video I can make. So basically, what in the short answer is, whatever stage I'm at of the project is, I just film, and then I just try and create the best with whatever I've got that day. Obviously, some stages of projects are a lot more interesting than others. Some are not. E.g., sanding, it's a massive part of the job, and you can only make so many reels of sanding before your audience disowns you. Then that goes back to like, all right, I can't do another sanding video because I'm sanding again today. So what can I do now? So I might sort of do a remix of the last 3 months or the last project. And I've also been getting into like, the positive affirmations on the videos now as well, which, you know, the more content's like rabbits, it just breeds and breeds and breeds and breeds and breeds. Now I've been doing it 6 months, and I focus on just doing one reel, one short, one a day for each platform. I don't always hit it, but that's what I do. I focus on one each day, each platform. And now I'm 6 months in, I don't struggle to really make anything because I can do it relatively quickly. And I've got all this previous content that I can sometimes refer back to, and let's pull this in and cut and splice this and make a positive affirmation reel or whatever, which is great. And I heard I hear that from Gary V. When he said that content breeds like rabbits, it really hit home. Now I'm at the 6 month mark of making content. It just all sort of gets easier, and it's just multiplying real quick, which is good.
I know what you mean, because, as you say, some things don't make content, and I know everything's content to a point, but if you're painting, like yesterday, I was having to respray some doors that I'd made because unfortunately they'd been damaged by another company. But I've already filmed and shown me spraying them doors. You can't do the same thing again because it's the same. It's the same thing. And as you say with the sanding, and likewise, I decided that with a pattern fly that I wanted to make a chest of drawers. In fact, that'll be a video. Even though I've been using them for a few months, I've not done a video shoot on that yet. So I'll be doing that video shoot this afternoon, so I can get that on my social media. But that piece took me 55 hours to make, and
Wow.
I didn't film that because it was before I was filming it. Before I was starting to create content, because I made it about 3-4 months ago. So yeah, a lot of these pieces I've got on the go at the minute for my videos are, in fact, projects I just want to make, and I'll probably end up just giving them away because it's not about, for me, I don't need that or I don't want that. It's about, can I make this? Can I do this? Would this work as an item to sell?
Yeah.
And I've noticed some of my things when I've been out on site fitting, like I was doing boring I finding skirting boards very, very boring. I was like, oh, I could do a quick little how to do internal markers on internal scribe, on a skating board. So I did a couple little short 3-second long videos, put it together, 10,000 views within about 5 minutes. And you're like, it's just simple and easy. And so those sort of things, I agree, you can make some content. And as you say, so if you do it correctly, out of one long form video, if you create out of that, you can then take 5 into your shorts. You can take 5 into your reels. You can split that again to make 5 more reels or stories out of your reels. So out of one piece of long form content, you could probably get 20, 30, if you planned it correctly, 20, 30 pieces of social media.
Oh, yeah, easy. Definitely.
Without getting too repetitive at the same time, because as you say, no one wants to see. Sanding is an enormous part of our job. Making furniture. I mean, it's just so boring.
Yeah.
I mean, my most recent video at the weekend, yesterday, in fact, so probably about a month ago, by the time it actually goes live, was in fact my own kitchen worktops. Now, they needed redoing because I wasn't happy with them. So I redid them and I filmed it as a YouTube video. And even though it's not had a lot of views so far, the retention on that is a lot higher than a lot of my other videos. But the sanding, I showed about 10 seconds of sanding, if that, and then it's done. No one wants to see me. So I found with creating long form, as I watch the final edit, I'm like, no, that's boring. It gets cut. And I literally press T to cut the film. And that next section either gets sped up or it goes. Because if it's not adding creativity to your content, people are going to press that back button or switch off button and not going to watch your content. And that
Yeah,
content not being watched is costing you money.
yeah, definitely. So what social medias you on so far?
So I am on Facebook, but I don't use it because it's just in Liverpool. I find it's the wrong clientele because I am very much priced out of the area as being too expensive. Not for all of Liverpool, but in the area where I live, it's not the best of wealthiest of areas, should we say. So I'm far too expensive for this area. So I don't use Facebook because I get the people that want the job doing for 20 quid 3 weeks ago. And you're like, I'm not even getting out of bed for 20 quid. You know, it'll only take you an hour. Well, yeah, it might only take me an hour, but that's an hour of me putting my stuff in the van, 20 minutes to drive to you, an hour to do the job, 20 minutes to drive home, 20 minutes to take the tools out of the van. So that 20-minute job takes me 4 hours. That's half a day. That's
Yeah,
150, please.
they don't
So,
understand that.
yeah, so I just, yeah, they don't see it. And that, or the other favourite one, but you get to keep your tools. No, my tools need replacing every 3 years because they're worn out. They are what makes me my money, so I have to spend and invest on them. I mean, blades are super expensive. Sandpaper's expensive. Everything's expensive. So yeah, I don't use Facebook for that very much that reason. I use it on a personal level, for keeping in contact with people on a few of the Facebook groups as well. I use Instagram. That's my main one, and obviously now creating content on YouTube. But I don't use any other platform at
What
all.
is your pillar content that you're leaning towards? Where YouTube or Instagram?
I wanted to go more to the finer furniture stuff again, but the problem with that is again you're talking about pieces that are £3,000-4,000
Yeah,
pieces.
what social are you leaning more towards,
Oh,
Instagram or YouTube?
sorry, beg your pardon. See, I'm using them both very, very differently. So even though I do put shorts, which are effectively reels, onto YouTube, that's just trying to divert more traffic onto my YouTube. So I'm using my YouTube for long form for when I have to have more surgery next year, as a way of being able to earn an income through my e-commerce and the other things that I will be doing at that time with a new website. Um,
Yeah,
but my Instagram, I'm using that very much more about building my brand and building who I am and getting people to see who I am as a company, so to speak, and also what it is I do. Because I do
yeah,
think that having a brand, which I know is a whole other conversation, and we could talk for hours on it, but I think having a brand and having things very much in line with who you are, like I know you've got your T-shirt there, Josh, with your company on. I have all my own T-shirts with all my own company stuff on. I'm just wearing someone else's today for this particular podcast. But I have my own work branded mugs as well. Um, so
lovely.
I do think that having these sort of things make a big difference, and like turning up to work with your company name on your sleeve or
Yeah,
on your back, or my van sign written with my company name, because it's like this is me. This is who I am.
professional look. Yeah.
I'm not working for X, Y, Z. It's my name, so I care about it.
And did I see on one of your Instagrams reels that you have a little metal piece that goes into some of your
Yeah.
projects?
So these are made by they're right behind me actually. So I've got different ones, different sizes. Let's see if I can get them on the camera. So these are just 20mm, but I've got some 30mm ones as well.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
So these round ones are more for going on the sides of drawer boxes and the likes. And I've also had these ones made up that go onto furniture pieces, which are all sequentially numbered.
What did you just do you rebate them in or?
Yeah, so the round ones are just done with a Forstner bit down about 1.5-2mm, and the square ones are just cut out with a 20mm chisel. Now they're done by Fletcher Smelly Cat Creations. And I'll leave a link to his page as well down below in the description after, because superb service. I do think things like that, it really sets off your piece because you're putting your name on that piece. I mean, when you buy a kitchen and you get a Blum drawer box, you have a Blum drawer box and it has Blum on the side on the plastic side. So
Yeah.
they put their name because you want your name in people's faces. So that's why I've had these maker marks done. And like even when I go to work and I'm having a cup of tea or coffee at the client's house, I've got my mug with my name on it. It's all
And
about.
what did he charge you for them? For what did you get?
I can't honestly remember, but I think they worked out about £1 each,
Oh,
£1.50 at the most.
it's nothing.
The square ones were slightly more because they were they've all got numbers on, so the sequential. So
Yeah.
it's number 1, number 2, number 3, etc. So they were slightly more because obviously each one was slightly different as a laser image, whereas the round
Yeah.
ones were all the same. They're batched, aren't they? So it's a lot quicker and easier for him to do them.
What did you get? What did you get the sequential ones for? Just to number your pieces as they go out.
Yeah, so as my work pieces go out, so they only go on pieces of furniture that I make, or items like I did a fruit bowl for Scrapwood Build Off, part of Tim Greenwood's Tour Works thing. That's got a little thing on, so it's got my stamp on it, and it's
Yeah,
always
that's
there.
good.
It's just these little details I think that matters when it comes to a client opens up their wardrobe that I've made and there's your name's there. So every time they open up the drawer,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
20 years from now, if you become big enough, people will be collecting your stuff. Oh, I've got 6, 7, and 8 of JCR joinery.
Yeah,
can become a collector's piece.
yeah. I do
Smart.
think branding is. I say we'll get into that on another episode, but I do think about saying who you are and having it on your Instagram, on your Facebook pages if you're using that. I think it's very important to keep them all the same, so you have the same logo and everything,
Yeah,
or the same
definitely.
thing, because otherwise, like, well, hang on. So he's called what on Instagram, but he's called this on Facebook, but he's this on YouTube, and he's this on that. People aren't going to know who you are. Keep with one name, and just say, "This is me." Whatever it is, this is me. This is who I am, and that's all you need. I feel.
Yeah, definitely.
Make sure that's hit home with everyone. That it's not. I'm not working for Joe Blogs. Joining me. This is me. It's me, myself, and I. If any other people come to this job, they're working for me. They're not.
Yeah.
I do think that as well when you're making furniture pieces that people understand. You'll know yourself that when they realise that it's just you that's made that from whatever. I mean, if you do to sell that table, for example, that you're making at the minute, you can go back onto your Instagram or your YouTube and they can see the process of you building that table. And it shows the care and the detail and the attention you've put into that piece.
Definitely, I definitely agree. What do you think about the branding that some people do on their pieces with the heated iron?
Yeah, so I was looking into that, but then the problem with that I find is it can cause other issues with the way things are done. So originally, I was going to get some 2mm birch with a branding iron, brand it, and then insert that birch ply plaque into the pieces.
Yeah.
Because then at least it's sort of rebaited. Because the thing is, if you got that burn slightly wrong as you put it on that piece, too late, it's in there. You're not moving it. So this is where I came across these little maker markers by Fletch on Instagram. So, oh, mate, can you send me some of these out? And obviously I paid for them and everything like that. I think within about 3 days they were on my doorstep. I was like, wow, that's good service, that. And the good thing about
is he in England or
he's
America?
in the UK. He's in the UK, but he will ship. But the good thing about these is because they just hold them in place with a little bit of super glue, and if you don't get them quite square, you just pop them back out and you reset it.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't use a branding iron, because if you get it slightly off square, slightly cockeyed, with my own, I think all us joiners have. I know you're called more carpenters down under, but in the UK, the skilled ones are joiners, and I feel that we all have that sort of OCD-ness of lines and symmetry and everything's got to be square and everything like that. So if you go and put a maker's mark on and it's like 2 degrees out, you're gonna be killing yourself, knocking yourself, because that piece is ruined in your minds.
Ruined exactly. It's
Right.
exactly what I think.
But I think we'll go down the journey on the or maybe on the next issue, version, podcast, whatever you want to. I don't know exactly how you call these things. We'll go
Episode
into.
2.
I think we'll go more into. We'll delve more into the journeys of social media, importance of goal setting. I think that's a very important topic. Our
Yeah.
strategies, and so maybe we could cover that in the next edition next week. But I think that's a good place to wrap up today's podcast. I think it's been a very useful and insightful
Yeah.
chat we had today, Josh, don't you?
It flowed really well.
All right. So
I'm happy with that.
everyone. Thanks to everyone. Hopefully, we'll see you again next week.
Wouldn't work out.